Well, hello again, and welcome back to our Theater on the Web series. I'm so excited to be doing this series with you all and teaching you all so much about the dramatic arts. Today's episode is an exciting one. It's like a bonus. It's theater, comedy, monologue, bonus, explosion, whatever you want to call it. We're exploding on more little simple things about comedy to help your work and really bring those self-tapes of comedy monologues to life. You ready? Let's do it. Woo! Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Theater on the Web series. Today's episode is all about comedy, and it's about how to find the funny within. Are you ready? I'm ready. So now you are ready for your next assignment with comedy. And the comedy assignment today is really about breaking comedy down to very simple things that we can all understand. So we're going to go through each of these little checkpoints that we're going to put on our document. So if you look online, there's a document that says the comedy squares. And the comedy squares are these little essential things that we want to always remember as an artist when we are doing this work of comedy. So you'll go online to our Google Classroom and you'll check out the 4 boxes. And we're going to go through each of those boxes right now. And once we have done that and you fill them all out, what you're going to do, you're going to send those to me in the Google Classroom. And that's going to be a little record for you. So whenever we go back to comedy, something that you'll use every single time to remind you of where the space you need to be in, the head space, the heart space, the mind space, the creative space, so you can do this work. So this is like a supplementary tool that's going to really help you and really add a little spice, a little boost to the work that you're doing, especially in comedy. So get ready. It's going to be good. So for the last few episodes, we've been looking at comedy and looking about how to find comedy in our work. And so the biggest thing that I can say about comedy in our work is that the comedy has to come from inside you. And no matter what work that you do, no matter where it comes from, like whatever the piece is, whether it's an older piece or if it's a more present piece, something more current, it doesn't matter. Because the comedy always will come from you and your sense of humor and the things that make you laugh or things that you discover while you're working on the work that is just kind of humorous. So I wanted to take a little pause in the lessons and just kind of jump off and where do you find the funny? How to find the funny within. So when you're talking about doing comedy, you have to first think about this simple idea. What makes you laugh? That's the first thing. What are the things that make you laugh? And so you might have to take a little list out and go, jot. You're just jotting it down. You're like, these are the things that make me laugh, whether it's my dog when he falls or people doing this or that. No matter what the things are, I would say make a running list of the things that make you laugh and make you smile. The thing about laughter is that comedy has always been here to help like mankind, I think. I think since the beginning of time, comedy has been here to kind of relieve us of some of the stresses of living in life. And when I think about everything that's going on right now, what about a time that we need to laugh and to find humor even in the midst of some of the worst, awful times that we are living in today? Comedy has always been there. And I know for me personally, as a person, like comedy has gotten me through some really, really tough times. And I would implore everybody out there to use comedy to help them in this tough time that we're all going through now. And when I think about the things that make me laugh, it doesn't have to make sense. You know, some things that make you laugh just make you laugh, and it's just silly, and or whatever it is, or maybe it's mean. I don't know. Everybody has a different kind of sense of humor. But in the theater, all of that humor is fair game. But first things first, you have to identify the answer to this question. What makes you laugh? So once you understand the things that make you laugh, you have to also remember this big umbrella of this, is that laughter is a good thing. It's good to be able to laugh. I say like laughter can work like medicine. Like sometimes if you feel down and then something funny happens, it kind of takes your mind off whatever thing that may be ailing you or thing that's like bringing you down. Like comedy really can do that for you. And so once you get those two things in order, you have to start thinking about the next thing. What makes other people laugh? Like, what do other people find funny? So once you have your list of like what makes you laugh, then you have to start looking around and see like, hey, what makes you laugh? Like, makes other people laugh? So I would say find like 2 or 3 of your friends. You're going to ask like, hey, what makes you laugh? What do you think is funny? And then you have another list. So your second section is like, hey, what makes other people laugh? So once you've discovered what makes you laugh and then what makes somebody else laugh, the next section we're going to look at is like what makes like different groups laugh. So we're going to call it our group section. These are the things that like big groups find funny. So like you might say, what do like young people think is funny? So like you like write all the things that young people think is funny. And then on the next list, you're going to write maybe like what do older people think is funny? So like maybe like your parents, they might think something's really, really funny and you're like not funny. Or sometimes you think something's hilarious and they're looking at you and they're like not funny at all. So it's important to know those kinds of things, those differences. Like you as an actor, as an actress, you have to really think big scale and little scale. You have to think about things that affect you. Think about how other people that you know, what makes them laugh. And then you have to think about big groups. Like, how do the young people respond to this versus older people? And you can also start it in racial groups. Like, what do this group of people think is funny? What does that group of people think is funny? So any way you want to break it down, I want you to find 2 ways that you have 2 groups, and they're got to be like the opposite group. So if it's a small, then it's a big. If it's a big, then it's a small. Or if it's a little young group, then it's an older group. So whatever you decide to break it up, this section is called groups. And you're going to list maybe a few things that say, hey, in this group, this is what they find is funny. There is this psychologist by the name of Randy Flanagan who wrote this theory out about tickling. And they said that in their discovery, through their research, that you are not able to tickle yourself, but you can be tickled by somebody else. There's something in our makeup that makes us not able to physically tickle ourselves, unless you tickle with love. And so I guess I'm going to end up by saying, I think comedy is really important, and there's different levels of comedy. But the biggest thing I would say with comedy is, there's like a sense of compassion underneath. Nobody likes to be made fun of. Nobody really likes that. And I think for an actor and as an artist, I think the work that we do is not just about entertaining people. It's also showing a piece of humanity to people, the good and the bad. But I think as the artist that's doing the work, whether you are doing it in a way that's showcasing maybe not the best side of humanity, or maybe if you are, the actor in the middle has to understand that the role that they're playing needs to be done with a sense of love and care and compassion. And I think no matter what character you're playing, if you have that underneath as an artist, I think you'll always hit the right note of where the comedy should land. Some comedians have gotten in a lot of trouble for the comedy that they've done, because I feel like they forgot this simple principle as the artist of, hey, comedy should be done with love and compassion. And I feel like no matter what character you're playing, if you as the artist remember those two pieces, it's really hard to go wrong when you have those two things in mind, I think. So don't forget, if you don't know by now, just go to israelhillery@achievementfirst.org, shoot me a little message there, and I will add you to our Google Classroom. And once you are in our Google Classroom, you will have access to all of the links, all the monologues, and all the materials for each episode and for episodes to come. So I look forward to seeing more of those monologues coming in using all these little pieces of things that we've added over the last few weeks. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all next week. And don't forget to always smile. So, what is it? And don't forget, and always find a moment to smile and laugh. Materials that go along with each of our episodes. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of the comedy monologues. I can't speak today. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of these comedic monologues coming in. And I'm looking forward to our lessons to come. And don't forget, take a moment to smile and to laugh.